After receiving a scam call, I transferred 10 million without hesitation. When the police later informed me I had been duped, I stayed calm, but my beautiful and wealthy roommate panicked. In my previous life, on the very first day of 1850 school, my roommate stole my black card and took the entire class to an auction to release sky lanterns. That night, the hundreds of millions loaded on that card vanished. My company lost all its working capital and teetered on the brink of bankruptcy. When I confronted my roommate and asked her to return the money, she cried and threw herself into my boyfriend's arms. "Vivian, you can't falsely accuse me just because your family went broke." My boyfriend slapped me and shouted angrily, "Vivian Rivers, you're wasteful, and now you want Hui Hui to take the fall for your mess? Have some shame." I went to the bank to request a transaction invoice as proof, but was hit by my roommate's car. My boyfriend and classmates all gave false testimonies, claiming I had thrown myself in front of the car on purpose. When I opened my eyes again, I was back on the very day Hannah Lee led the entire class to release sky lanterns. "Hey everyone, free tomorrow? I'll treat you all to an auction. My treat." When I heard Hannah say that, I froze. A chill ran down my spine as realization struck. I'd been reborn. Suddenly Hannah clung to my arm and said, "Vivian, I heard you have a VIP card to that auction. Can you lend it to me? That way, we can all sit in a private box." Remembering my past life, this made my blood boil. I wanted to rip everyone in front of me to shreds. I gripped my bag tightly and replied coldly, "My card is lost. I can't lend it." Eric grabbed my bag, flipped it upside down, and scattered everything. When he saw the golden VIP card on the floor, he picked it up and handed it to Hannah. Hannah clung to his arm and cooed sweetly, "Eric, you're the best. Thank you." Eric beamed with pride, but when he looked at me, his gaze was full of irritation. "Vivian, when did you become such a liar? You clearly had the card. Why didn't you just give it to us?" I slapped him across the face and snatched the card from Hannah's hand. "Eric, who do you think you are to touch my things?" His eyes widened in disbelief, as if he couldn't fathom that I'd hit him. "Vivian, are you crazy? You actually slapped me." I slapped him again. "I hit you. So what?" Hannah immediately stepped in front of Eric, eyes filled with grievance, acting as if she were the one being assaulted. "Vivian, it's all my fault. Don't be mad at Eric because of me." I shot her a cold glance and slapped her across the face without hesitation. "Why so eager? Can't live without me, can you? The two of you. Utter filth. Acting all sweet in front of me is revolting." Eric's eyes reddened with fury. He raised his hand and shoved me hard. I stumbled back and slammed into a table, gasping in pain. "Vivian, that's enough. Why did you hit Han? Holding my back, I stared at him icily. "Didn't you hear what she said? She practically begged for it. I just granted her wish." The classmates nearby couldn't keep silent anymore. "Vivian, that's going too far. You can't hit people for no reason." Hannah sobbed, tears streaking down her cheeks. "I'm sorry. This is all my fault. Please don't blame Vivian. Eric and I are innocent. He's just been looking out for me as a junior." Eric wrapped his arms around her protectively, his voice gentle. Han, you're too kind. Even when you're bullied, you still take the blame." I watched coldly, fingers trembling in anger. Eric turned to me, his face twisted with irritation. "Vivian, you need to check your attitude. Hand over the card to Han and apologize. If not, we're through. I won't date someone as unreasonable as you." I laughed bitterly. "Fine, let's break up. You and your precious junior can be as in love as you want." Hannah looked at me pitifully. "Vivian, please don't be rash. You and Eric have been together for 3 years. You can't just throw that away. I'd feel terrible. Like the villain." That made my blood boil even more. I was furious with myself for being blind enough to love scum like Eric for 3 whole years. Suddenly, Hannah grabbed my hand. "Vivian, how about this? Lend me your membership card. All the purchases we make at the auction can be registered under your card. That way, you'll earn points and can upgrade your card tier later." I gave a cold sneer. "No thanks. I can't stomach your brand of kindness." A flash of malice flickered in Hannah's eyes before she quickly returned to her sweet expression. "Vivian, I genuinely want to use this event to bring our class closer. If you lend me the card, I'll give you 2 auction items of your choice. Consider it a rental fee." A nearby classmate chimed in, clearly impressed. "Vivian, you're getting a great deal. Items at that auction start at tens of thousands. Everyone wins. Why keep refusing?" I rolled my eyes at them and said coldly, "Can't you understand plain words?" A flicker of darkness passed through Hannah's eyes. The next second, she wiped her tears and, with a wounded expression, addressed the class. "I'm sorry, everyone. I just wanted to invite you to the auction, to use this chance to bond and get to know each other. But Vivian's upset, so I can't take you. It's my fault." She sobbed dramatically, then collapsed into Eric's arms. Eric looked heartbroken, but when he turned to me, his eyes were filled with rage. Without warning, he slapped me across the face and then kicked me in the stomach, sending me crashing to the ground. My cheek and stomach burned with pain, and I struggled to breathe. Eric cursed at me furiously. "Vivian, you did this on purpose, didn't you? You can't stand to see Han shine. You always thought you were better than us because your family's rich, flaunting luxury brands every day. But now that Han can afford to take the class to an auction, you're jealous." One of the nearby classmates was also fuming. She grabbed a water cup off the table and hurled it at my head. Others followed, picking up whatever was left on the table and throwing their drinks at me. In seconds, I was drenched and humiliated, my clothes soaked through. I struggled to my feet, grabbed a bench beside me, and slammed it onto the ground. Everyone backed away in fear, shouting, "Vivian, are you insane?" I stared at them, shaking with pain and fury, then pulled out my phone and dialed 911 without hesitation. "Hello, police? I'm being physically assaulted. The address is..." Before I could finish, Eric rushed over, snatched the phone from my hand, and smashed it to the ground. Vivian, are you out of your mind? You really dared to call the police? I met his glare with a cold stare. He raised his hand again, clearly ready to strike. I looked at him dead in the eyes. Go ahead. Every time you touch me will become part of your criminal record. Within 10 minutes, the police arrived. The police wanted to de-escalate, noting that I wasn't seriously injured, and suggested that they pay for emotional distress. I demanded that each person compensate me for $1,000. The police agreed. The entire class exploded with curses and complaints, but the officer shot them a cold look. Either settle it here, or we'll file charges and leave you with a criminal record. Your choice. Hearing that, everyone quieted down and reluctantly paid up. $1,000, half a month's living expenses for them, was enough to sting. After the police left, I gathered my scattered belongings and checked my bank cards. They were all there. I sighed in relief. I returned to the dorm to change, then called the teacher to apply for off-campus housing. After returning home and eating dinner, I lay in bed, but an odd sense of unease crept over me. Just before falling asleep, I suddenly received a call. Hello, Ms. Vivian. We're calling from the court regarding your illegal importation of dolls from abroad. You are suspected of a criminal offense. You must submit a deposit of $10 million immediately, or we will proceed with your arrest. It was clearly a scam. I was about to hang up, but something clicked in my mind, and I transferred $10 million to their account without hesitation. Seconds later, I received another call, this time from the police. They urgently informed me I had fallen for a scam and asked if they could freeze my black card to prevent further losses. I agreed immediately. When I saw the notification confirming my bank card had been frozen, I laughed. I reached for the fake black card Hannah had swapped while I was gone and tossed it into the trash. Now, even if she got her hands on the card, she wouldn't be able to spend a single cent. The next day, I went to the auction. I spotted a piece I liked and raised my hand to bid. Just as the item was about to be finalized in my favor, someone else raised their hand. I'll light a sky lantern. I looked up and saw Eric and Hannah, surrounded by classmates. Hannah looked directly at me, eyes full of provocation, then turned to Eric and said sweetly, Eric, I heard Vivian likes this item too. If we win it, will she be angry? Eric glanced at my way. Vivian, if you kneel and apologize to us right now, I'll let you come to the auction with us. I rolled my eyes. No need, I can afford it on my own. Soon, the next item was presented. I raised my hand to bid, and just before the third strike of the gavel, another classmate called out, I'll light a sky lantern. Hannah smiled graciously. Every student here can light a sky lantern today. With that, the others looked at me smugly. Vivian, unless you apologize to Han, don't even dream of winning another item today. I could barely keep from laughing. Clearly, they didn't know this auction was run by my family. Every dollar they spent would line our pockets. By the 10th item, the auction organizer approached politely. Miss, since you've bid on so many items, payment is now required. The total comes to $120 million. Once it's settled, you may continue bidding. Han, pay up so we can keep bidding. Hannah confidently pulled out the black card and swiped it. Ding, payment failed.